Oh,
Welcome back to Duel Alliance with myself, Alicia Solomon, and Megan Hines, where we discuss the challenge every single week. And we are back to discuss All Stars episode 8. This week, we got the girls doing a little beef, a little fighting, a little tussle. Nothing too much, nothing too crazy. A little, meow, meow, a little tussle, but nothing crazy, you know? But I will say, we did get a coup that I did not expect to see. Like everyone came against one person. I'm talking about you, Cara. And child, they was on your ass like white on rice. I don't know what you did to these people. But girl, they on your ass. Bring your ass, as Anthony Edwards says.
bring us down to the Rita. Might as well. Um, I will just say this is not bullying because Ace threw that word around. I'm like that. This lady is not getting bullied. Let's get that straight first and foremost. She is a threat in this game. Reason why she's a threat in this game. She literally won an individual season. She beat men and women, and she has a star right now. No wonder everybody is gunning for her, man or woman. That lady's on the island because she's a beast. That's it. I just want to get that out there because it pissed me off when he said that. I'm like, this lady's not getting bullied. She's just a target because she's one of the best in the house. That's it. That's my piece on that part.
It's true. Like we've listen, we can go into it later, but we've seen Cara be the front facing person to get the brunt of attacks in houses previous seasons, but this ain't it, champ.
At all. But we start the episode with a toxic attraction update where Laurel is struggling to confront her feelings and emotions with Nicole, and she's talking to Cara about it. Like she's confiding in Cara, and then Cara's using it back at her in different scenarios, which she thought of the episode. But it's for her, it's hard to listen and watch her just say something and not do what she wants to do. Like that's the right thing, and it's just like back and forth between these two. Like she's an ear, but then she's not actually just listening and just letting Laurel vent. And Cara is just listening and then giving advice. And Laurel's not trying to hear it. But I will say, Cara Maria was right. I will say that.
1000%. And I'm sure Laurel, looking back on this, is cringing, probably, and feels dumb because the exact thing that Cara was trying to help you see in before hindsight, she was trying to help you see in the moment, and you just were in your feelings. It kind of got caught up to you, and now here a year later, you're on Twitter blasting this girl and calling her all types of name and everything else but a child of God. It's like she told you this from the jump. So it's not surprising, but it is cringe to see this whole episode play out and how Laura was defending her. And it's interesting because in the past, like Laura would be that person for Cara to kind of talk some sense into her and whatever she was going through with relationships in the house. So to see it in reverse and Laurel not be receptive to it, it's kind of like, girl, if you want to dig your own ditch, go ahead. I'm like, Carl should just be like, I'm not gonna do anything to fight you on this because at this point, Laurel's a grown ass woman and she should know by now how to operate in these situations. But again, when it comes to Laurel and relationships, she gets blinded. She doesn't know, what to do or how to move. And very much, girl, you need a little alone time with yourself.
Yeah, and I love second chance romance books. That's one of my favorite tropes. However, when it's very toxic and people just don't like to take accountability and are not self-aware in these situations, it's horrible for me to read and watch. And this is what I'm getting, and I hate that for her. But it's just also just funny to see Nicole like also getting mad at Carl, like, "Hey, stay out of our business." Well, Cara can't just stay out of the business because Laurel keeps running back and crying to that lady. So she's in it because Laurel keeps crying to her. So y'all gotta figure that out. Figure what the heck are y'all doing? Because it's bad for both of y'all, and then y'all getting mad at Cara because she's trying to be with reason, and the one person that's crying to her is not listening. And this is not what I like to see in second chance romances.
Neither do I. I don't even care about the first chance, to be honest. Like, get these motherfuckers out of here. They too toxic already. So I don't give a fuck about the first try. The second one ain't gonna work neither. Wrap it up, please.
Because like this is like a lot of like second chances that they've given each other. Like I really saw this on X on the Beach, and I did not like it then. I don't like it again now. So thank God Laurel at this point has saw the light. But looking at this season and this episode, it's horrid, and I'm glad she did some reflection. And with that, we're going to get into the daily challenge, what was called Balls Up, where it's played in two heats where players are entering a mud pit below a net that contains five colored balls for each player. And they must use a plunger to push their opponent's balls out of the net while others do the same. And players are eliminated once all balls are out of the net, but they can still push out other people's balls. The first two men and women from each heat to be out will be in the losing group, while the remaining players go to the final round, and that's where we'll see the last man and woman be the last people standing to win this daily. And this is an individual daily, so it's really nice to see that once again. And we already get the plotting starting with Laurel and Cam, a link up that we kind of knew would kind of happen. It just so happened that both of them are like, I'm going after Cara because she has already won this in this type of setting. I'm going to go after her. And they have a plan to purposely kind of throw it so that Cam can get Cara's star.
Yeah, I mean, this week I don't mind the plotting because y'all do need to get Cara out at some point. She has held onto her star for a very long time. And we talked about it a couple weeks back when Cam and Cara kind of got, into it where Cam felt betrayed by Cara because she wasn't supporting her and whatever other feelings she had. But to be honest, like clearly Laurel and Cam have their personal interest in why they want Cara out, but the common interest is that Cara is a beast and we need to get her out. Uh but everyone's trying to make it not personal and then getting mad that Cara's making it personal, and it's kind of like y'all started it first. So I'm not sure whose side to take. Like I'm on no one's side, to be honest, because between like I'm on no one's side. And typically I'm on the black woman's side, but I on this it's just like I understand you want to get in your star. I understand you wanted to take this girl out because she is the ultimate threat in the game, but to go about it that way and to let everybody go along, I think I'm more upset that everybody went along with it because we've always seen how in the more recent seasons how the Vacation Alliance runs shit, and we got everybody going along with what they doing. And it's kind of the same thing here. It was just like everyone's like, all right, cool, so this is what we're gonna do. Like everyone in that first group was like, bet we're gonna get Cam out first, we're gonna follow up with this person, we're gonna follow up, and down the line they just followed suit with whatever Cam wanted to do. And it's just like, do y'all not realize that this is an individual game, number one? And number two, what does Cam's game have to do with your game? Like, I get Cara is the threat. I get she's the common goal and that everybody is going to want her out. But once Cam takes her star, Cara's still in the house. Like, what do you think is going to happen for the rest of you down the line and how she's going to play? So, again, to this whole situation between Cam, Laurel, and Cara, I'm on no one's side because it's kind of just like a mess. Like I get it, but I don't want to watch it. I don't know what it is. It just gave me Vacation Alliance, and I'm kind of off that from being, watching that other show for how many seasons now.
I too have no dog in this fight. But it's just funny because it's Cara, and like I said, she's a beast in this game. Like you want to get her out, you want to make her vulnerable at some point. So taking her star is the first step. Second step, if she ends up in the losing group, she can get put into elimination and go home. Like, but the thing is with this whole thing, she is not going to end up in the losing group anytime soon. She'll continue to be either win the challenge or she'll be in the middle group. So she'll just still be there until the end, no matter what. Like at one point, she is going to get a star again, because even though she might not have a star, the playing field will be leveled, but it still has to be a group effort in a sense to still get her out the house. Like it's still gonna be that, like because she is the biggest person in the house, best person in the house. There's Laurel, but Laurel is like not a threat at this point because her head isn't in the game like fully. It's just like here on one side, like with Nicole, other side that's playing the game in some way. She hasn't won anything thus far this season either, so it's just weird. But I feel like at some point, if Cara eventually does get out the game, it makes the playing field a little bit more leveled for people to get to the final. I don't know, but that's what my feeling is about it. It's just like, okay, plan is get Cara out, all of us can scrap together to fight to the end. I think that's the play, but there's still people in the house that are also strong competitors. They're still there. Like not just the old people there, it's still young people who are still scrappy. I.e. Cam, i.e. Laurel, Nicole, Jay, Avery of sorts too, because she's been winning, but it's just right there.
Yeah, I mean, Avery has kind of been collateral, and she realized it finally this week after 8 weeks of you being on the show, Mama. Welcome. Uh, she's a pawn in what they are trying to do because she has no real relationships, as we keep saying on the show. So she really just going along with the flow, and that's why I really didn't understand her going with Cara in that one vote a couple weeks back when her and Adam kind of got swayed. I was just like, girl, where's your backbone? Because Cara is gonna get you out too if you keep playing along with this game. So you got to stand up for yourself. And I wish she would have did that this week, honestly, in going into elimination. But we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. The second
Yeah.
group, yeah,
So round one, Heat one, it was Adam, Cam, Derek, Jay, Laurel, Leroy, Veronica, Nicole. Obviously, they got Cam out first. And all while they were doing that and they were talking, Cara was complaining on the sidelines because you can literally hear everyone give commentary from the sidelines, and you can literally hear Cara just complaining like, "Oh, great, this is what they're doing. It's perfect." And I'm like, this is what happens when you just are the one person to keep your star for a while. People are gonna gun for it. But it's just funny seeing her complain that they're like really solidifying the plan and going through with it, and she's just like seizing on the sidelines. That was just the funny part of Heat One.
I'm glad you laughed. I didn't.
And so then after Cam got out, it was Jay and then Derek and Veronica. Heat two, it did go the same way that they wanted it to, with Ace, Avery, Cara, Tina, Ryan, Steve, and Flora. And with like part one of like Cam's plan working, um, Cam also called out Avery and then Avery got shook. And I'm like, why are you getting shook over Cam just saying that? Like I could just go against you. And Avery's like, oh, huh? I've girl, she lost me in that moment. Like you shook by it, but you gotta perform. Like you've been performing. So she's like she was scared in that moment. I'm like, why are you scared?
Because she's scared. What you mean? Well, I don't get why you lost. Like she's scared. She pussy. Like what you mean? she don't want to go against her. Like, she know who she's going up against. She's called Killer Cam for a reason. She not she may act dumb, but she ain't dumb.
Yeah, like it's like it threw Avery for a loop, and I'm like, I know you're scared, but I get it. But just don't worry about it, because Kim was just doing that because she was just trying to throw. I think trying to throw Car off, to be honest, because everybody knew the plan. Car figured it out, but it was like, sure, just throwing. um distractions and encouragement to everybody was hilarious too. To for me, in Heat too, because she was doing, yeah, do that. Yeah, you got it. I was like, okay, cool. But the first people out in Heat 2 were Floor and Ryan. And at one point, Steve threw out his own ball. And that he was not thinking at all.
Steve hasn't been thinking this whole time, and he kept either getting out his own balls or getting out the filler balls. Again, him and Ace, they starting to like blow minds because y'all not even trying at this point. It's giving y'all just here for the vibes. Like, I don't know what's going on, but between him and Ace, I get where Ace is coming from because Ace is more chill and laid back. But with Steve, it's kind of like, bro, you doing it either trying to be funny or you really just that slow. And I'm gonna take it on the other side. I'm like, I'm gonna think you really that slow, to be honest.
Well, he still managed to make it to. He ended up being out. He knocked his own ball out so much he got out. Tina got out as well. So they went to group into Plan B. Now that Cara was in the final round, with Laurel, Adam, Leroy, Ace, Avery, and Nicole, and they have a plan for making Avery and Ace win. And it was also really interesting because it was funny to me when Flora called out Cara from being Crybaby, and it just reminded me this is a wrestling reference that Cody Rhodes is a crybaby, and his fans are called Cody Crybabies. And I'm like, Cara Crybabies is hilarious. If people were took like Flora seriously and started calling Cara's fans Cara's Crybabies, that would have been funny online.
Start the movement because I mean, I don't watch wrestling, so I don't get the reference. But Flora kind of ate with that. Like again, Flora being on the show still is the one surprise that I have at this point. But I will say she's not lying. Like Cara can give crybaby. She can give manipulative and how she moves because Cara does not know how to talk to people. She don't have that way of getting to people where she can make it seem personable. Like she is just, I don't know. Cara doesn't have that it factor when it comes to social game, but Flora kind of ate with it. I'm not gonna hold you. Like, yeah, she's just there for the confessionals.
Yeah, because Cara is like one track minded and she's just like focused on getting to the end. And she's cool people, but she's there to compete. And there's nothing else that she really leans on in these games. So her social game isn't great, and she's just on an island. Like no one in the house is really like rocking with her fully. So it's like I'm gonna cry about it every time I get. And that's where I was like, why is she complaining? She was that's why I felt funny seeing her complain on the sideline. It's like, oh, that's funny. Everybody's just going for me. That's great. Great. But the people that were cool with her that said it wasn't personal in the game are out. People who would have been her allies are out. So that's my thing with that. But Laurel and the group get a majority in the middle group, and they got it. At one point, Nicole and Cara got dirty, trying to move each other around, and we almost got a tussle. Right after Cara got out of the daily, which is so hilarious. Like they're going at each other, and I'm like, fight, fight, hit somebody. And Nicole's like, I'm not trying to throw away my chance of leaving over throwing a punch.
Megan, this is not baddies, okay? These people are not gonna fight. Child, please. They're not even gonna bust a grape in a fruit fight. Like these motherfuckers ain't doing nothing. I don't know why Cara, because Cara, this is why Cara annoys me too because she'll ink somebody on and be like, yeah, do it, da da da, trying to insinuate and trying to get somebody out. But at the same time, like if something did happen to her, then she's gonna start crying wolf. It's like you can't push the button or push a bear and then act surprised when that shit attacks you. However, Nicole knew she wasn't gonna do nothing either. Like The thing is with Nicole is that she understands the consequences of getting into a fight at this stage in the game, or just at all in general on these shows. Like, it's not this is not Bad Girls Club. Like, you're going home if you even touch somebody or even blink wrong. To be honest, if you throw water, ask Josh. You do anything, you're going home. So it's not giving that kind of fight, but it was kind of funny to see them going face to face and have somebody kind of separate them. But it was just literally for like maybe 5 seconds, 6 seconds, if that, and then they just walked away peacefully. And this is where we get Nicole and Cara going back and forth this whole episode, which again, Cara was not wrong in her assessment. Nicole, I don't know what's going on up there. I don't know what is going on up there, but Nicole does not have a mind of her own when it comes to this game. She never really has, but especially now this season, I feel like because she's back with Laurel and she's in this back and forth stage, Nicole knows what she's doing with that, because she knows that she's toxic and knows that Laurel is going to fall for her and be back with her, whatever. She knows how to manipulate Laurel. She just doesn't know how to manipulate the game. And that's Nicole's problem.
Yeah, that's really it. But it was funny that Nicole was like, "Oh, next time we want to get dirty, I'll knock you out." I'm like, "Okay, do it. Don't make a threat and not follow up." That's my thing. Y'all be talking greasy on the show and don't do nothing. And if you want to fight, fight off air. Fight where I leave. If y'all have this bit of animosity, do it later. Because if you know like you don't want to get off the show, do it later. Do it sanctioned. If they have a physical type of challenge later on in the season, and both of y'all still here, get scrappy. Do it. Let's do it. I just want to see it because honestly, the drama with these two is hilarious because, like you said, Nicole knows who she is. She's gonna be toxic, and Cara is just there, like knowing this is what this is not. This is practice behavior, and I'm not gonna put up with it. I'm not gonna let that lady put up with it, even though Laurel and Cara are frenemies. She knows better for Laurel, and it's not Nicole. And with that, with the daily, they got Ace and Avery the win. And that was when Avery was like, I feel like I was just handed the win as part of a plan. Like, well, that was the best bet because you were Switzerland. So that was it. You were part of the plan, but it worked out.
For who? For Cam. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, the whole plan was for Cam to get Cara Star, an attempt to get Cara Star. She went to the bottom group. She knows who she's going against. And now it's basically just getting Cam and Tina into the elimination rather than Flora, so that, Avery doesn't go down and try to take a star, which, to be honest, if it was Tina or Flora, I think Avery should have still took the opportunity when she went into the arena to try to shake it up. Because if you see the play at this point and you know you're a pawn, then you need to try to get yourself up under off of it and try to take back your game at some point and get a star to protect yourself moving forward. Whether you keep it or not for the long term, that's really up to you and how you play. But I think Avery, she's had a solid game this season, just being a floater. I think she's had a solid game in winning challenges and being in winning groups and things like that. So it's not far off. But once again, Cam's plan kind of went into fruition. Everyone went along with it, and then going towards, her and Leroy having that conversation of like who you want to go against. She was like, Tina's my best bet. And sorry for Tina, but you gotta go, Ma.
Yeah. Because Tina was trying her. Well, Tina and Veronica hitched the plan, and Veronica was trying to push the decision to not have Tina. She was trying to save her at the last minute. It wasn't going to work because the decision was made. Everybody was going to vote for Cam and Tina because that's the best bet for Cam, and that's what Cam wanted. Veronica tried to do that with Laurel, and it's like I'm not about to be bogarted to change my vote to somebody else because you're trying to save Tina. You don't have leverage in the situation to do that. So it was just funny to see Veronica try and do that because she of the two she has the capital in the game in the house to do move things around, but because it was Tina and people were already set and what they wanted to do, it wasn't happening.
Yeah, I did like Laurel fighting back and be like, "You're not gonna strong arm me into changing my mind." Which what I feel is what Nicole did when she was in elimination because Veronica said two sentences to her, and then all of a sudden she decided to change her mind. So I think that uh, Veronica thought if I can get Nicole, maybe I can get Laurel. And Laurel's like, "Listen, I may be a pushover for Nicole, but not for you, bitch. Like, it's over for you, and not for you, ma. Like, wrong kitty cat in my face. It's not you, it's her. So." You gotta take this somewhere else. You and Tina help her pack her bag and y'all figure it out yourselves. But I thought it was funny that Laura was like, wrong girl.
Yeah, no, no, don't do that to me. Like I know what I'm standing in, and good luck to your girl. That's it. That honestly was funny. Just seeing that honestly, but um, Laurel and Cam obviously were still aligned as per usual, and they're like, "Hey, okay, let's knock her off the star, and eventually let's get her at the game." Um, we get to the nominations, and Leroy said he felt a little weird because he's in the middle group and he's voting for Cam to go into the nation, and there's like that's a moment like he remembered, oh crap, I'm letting my girl in, but it's for a purpose for her to get her moment and get her star. So it was for a good reason, but he just felt a little bit weird about it. And then Cara decided to throw a Hail Mary, um, and tried to sway Nicole to switch her vote. And because both of them have stars, and she was like, well, if I'm out of here, you're up next. And it's like, is she? I don't know. Like obviously like she could get her star taken, but Nicole isn't that much of a threat to other people in the house.
I honestly think Cara was right. Like, I think that because Veronica's not a threat, so anybody knows that any point they could take Veronica's star. So I think Cara's right. Nicole would be the next one up once Cara starts getting taken. Now Nicole starts getting looked at because Nicole can be a threat in the final. Like, Nicole is physical. She can do things. Like, it's not like she's just laying down and, letting people walk over her. So, I mean, I do like the attempt by Cara. Like I said, she doesn't really know how to talk to people. So it didn't really get across. And Nicole is already stuck so far up Laurel's puss that she can't see out of it. But I think that whole exchange was hilarious when Cara and Nicole was going at it. And Cara was like, you need subtitles. Bro, I cackled so hard when she said that to her because if you only watch Nicole and you hear her talk, bro, I really that really made me key. Okay, that was a key. Cara ate with that one because, bro, when I tell you Nicole was trying her hardest to fight back and it wasn't happening. It was not happening. And honestly, Laurel had to step in and shut it down. And Laurel was like, "All right, we're done with this. Next, like, let cut. Like, what's next?" And then we get Laurel and Cara going at it, which again, Laurel looking back in it, I hope she feels as stupid as she looked in the moment because she was doing all this screaming and you don't know me and you like all this other stuff trying to basically assess what Cara is doing to her, but you look crazy. Like, you look wild trying to defend Nicole and trying to defend your relationship when time and time again y'all have broken up, gotten back together, broken up, gotten back together. You've been you cried not even two blocks ago. Like, in two scenes ago, you was crying about this girl, and now all of a sudden, like, you can't tell her nothing. She ready to square up against Car. And it's just like, that's one thing about lesbian relationships. Y'all bitches really love each other. I would say y'all really love hard. Y'all love hard. Cause goddamn, why are you screaming like this? Like, she really went at Kara's neck. And it's like, girl, you already know you're
Stood
not gonna be
over
with her
her.
for the long. I wish she would.
The way
I
that
wish she
she no,
would.
the way that Laurel stood over Cara, like and yelled in her face, like, shut up. Like, you don't know me. When have we talked? We we have not talked like this. I mean, we just saw you cry to this lady. First and foremost, even though y'all don't talk to each other when you're at home, you just cried to this lady about this other woman. Let's get that straight. Like, you don't know me, but you're telling her everything that you're thinking about your relationship with Nicole. Like, I like I said before, I'm glad that she saw the light, but she looked crazy. Like, this is insane. Over Nicole of all people. That's the crazy part. Like, at one point, y'all are happy and on the same page. Next moment, y'all are not locked in. But if she's like, "Hey, you can't fight her. I can." That was the energy that I was getting with Laurel and Cara. Like, you can't be yelling at her. I can't do that, but you can't. I was
Which
like,
is
this is
dumb. It's dumb because Laurel knows damn well if the roles were reversed, she would be yelling at Carl like, "Snap out of it, get out of it!" Like, what are you doing? And so now all of a sudden, because it's Laurel again, Laurel has her blinders on when she's in a relationship. She can't see shit. So it's just funny to see how dumb she really looked that whole time. Like this whole argument and screaming and telling her to shut up and all this carrying on. And not for nothing, Car. You got people telling you they don't know you from nowhere, girl. You need to, I don't know, maybe get these people in your contact book or something, because you got Brandon tell you he don't know you. You got Jasmine like, I don't really know you. Now you got Laurel telling you she don't really know you. Like, who do you know here? Like, there's no shade, but like, girl, you got all these people telling you they don't know you from nowhere, and it's kind of like, damn, like you want to island by yourself. And this whole Cara comeback season and her getting her redemption, like, I get it. And the edit, it's not really making any sense because Cam said something at the end of this episode where I kind of was like, where the fuck did that come from? But one thing I will say is Cara is not making it any easier on herself. Like, Cara has always been one of those insufferable people who, like, you want to root for, you want to be her to be on the right side, like, you want her to get her justice. But it's something about it that it's just like, you know what? These motherfuckers just don't jump you. They gonna jump you, girl. I don't know what it is. It's something that I can't put my finger on. So I'm not 100% on Cara. That's why I'm not rooting for nobody. I can't really go all in on Cara, and I can't really go against, because it's something about Cara that I'm like, girl, they gonna jump you. They gonna jump you. I just let it happen. I don't know.
yeah. Because at this point, it's not even personal. For the most part, it isn't. It's just game. At this point, they can jump her to get her out. It's game. It's just business. It's not personal. It's not any personal attacks. It's not what she endured before. It's right now. She's at the top of the mountain. She gotta get knocked off, and that's what it is. And she has to deal with that. She's got paid her dues. She deserves to be at the top of the mountain, but knows when. But she needs to know when she comes back that she would be a target with the right people who got right minds. If she was on a regular season, she would not. She'll just be skating, to be honest. So them right
If
now
she
at
was
this
on a
point,
regular season, they would have got her out a lot sooner. Like, if it's the people that we know to be on the regular season, they would have tried to at least get her out sooner because they know the threat that she is. The bottom line is everyone knows that Cara is a threat, and which is why they act the way they act toward her, and they say the things, and they kind of move how they do in gameplay. But half of it is personal, half of it is not personal. But somewhere along the line, it gets blurred, and everyone kind of just looks like crap from it. Like, it's no real winners in this situation.
yeah, because thinking about like the how she left on Roads 2, that was horrid. I don't that was like personal in game, and that line was overstepped. Right now, I don't know where the line is. It's like with Laurel, it's like 50-50. With Cam, it's pure game. That's really it. But all in all, after that fight, they're like, okay, votes. Um, it's Cam and Tina, Cam and Tina, Cam and Tina. Cam and Tina is going into Thrina. That was it. That everybody knew what their decision was. It was not going to get swayed by Cara because she didn't have any leverage in that group. They came with a plan. They knew it. They succeeded in voting in Cam and Tina. But now Killer Cam is not activated. Mama Cam is has exited the building for a bit. And Tina is also in good spirits about going into elimination against Cam. Like she's like, I'm gonna I'll do my best, try and just try to go get another star. And Leroy was also looking stressed helping Cam pack because like I don't know what's gonna happen. The fate, you never know with these games. But knowing Cam, knowing Killer Cam being activated, she will just come back. And we go to the arena, and TJ told us the name of the game. And when he said the name of the game was Ladies and the Tramp, and Tina was like, "Who's the lady? Who's the tramp? Am I the tramp?" I was like, "Ma'am, you're not the tramp. You're just another lady."
Tina has to be funny and, have her little moment with TJ as she always does. Her and TJ just have some kind of banter where she just throws things out and he takes it, and he sees it. So her and TJ just always have that moment, and it's one of her last moments, so might as well eat it up.
Yeah. They're playing, like I said, Ladies and the Tramp, and they have to jump on the trampoline that is buried in the sand, and they have to jump on that to see the answer key over a board, and they have to replicate it on their respective boards. The first person to do so wins the nation and stays in the game and is able to steal a star. TJ then asks Avery if she wants to come down, and she was like, I'm not gonna do it." And I was like, "You probably could have." And Jay was like, if she did that, it would have been a big moment to for her to go in and like make her mark and go in and get a star. But she didn't do that.
Like I said, like I said earlier, I wish she would have did it because I feel like she could have taken Tina in this instance, and again, it would have put her in a position where she is now going to take a star. She's gonna switch up the game and make it so that everyone doesn't have to fall in line to what Cam wants. And we'll see how it plays out for Avery later on, but I think that it will hurt her eventually in the long run and just going with everyone's plan, especially because it was just one person's plan to get her own star. Like, yes, it's to get Cara her star out and all that other stuff and that's what's everyone making it seem as, but I think Avery should have took that opportunity when she had it.
Yeah, because she look weak. When else would you get at a star? When else? I don't know. So it's Cam and Tina, and they both had good strategies that worked in the beginning. Whereas Tina, she was working with the numbers. At one point, she's like, "That's not working," so she switched it up because she could barely even see the board when she even jumped over the wall. So he switched it up to like just do some at a time, and that helped her. But she was still a bit behind on Cam, and Cam was able to see over the wall, and she was really going and memorizing it and replicating it very well. And they both really maintained composure. Tina was just also out of breath throughout this, but she still was able to keep up.
I mean, did we expect anything more or less from Tina? Her being out of breath, her trying to figure it out. I mean, she had a little plan where she, was color coordinating and trying to make it a little bit easier for herself. But for the long run, if you're jumping from on a trampoline, endurance is going to be your best bet in trying to win this elimination. And I think that we all knew that Cam was going to have a little bit more endurance, even though Cam's coming back. Like she said, this is her first elimination since being a mom, and her body changes and all that she went through. So it's a little bit different, but her mentality is going to be the same. So I didn't really expect anything less from Cam than what was shown. It was funny to see Leroy jumping on the sidelines, like, "I'm jumping with you, babe." And it's just like, nigga, that ain't helping her. Like, you all the way in the cut. Like, "I'm jumping with you, babe." Like, please. But I love Leroy and Cam, and that's no shade. But I think it's funny to see them, like, you know, be there together and trying to basically take home the money in the same household. And I think Ryan mentioned it in the end. It's just like, you're actually, this is a 2-for-1 special. So no matter who wins in this instance, whether it's Cam or Leroy, they're going home with the money so that they can build for their family and for their future. Um, and that's just a threat for the whole house in general.
Yep. And Tina is unfortunately eliminated. And Cam just got straight to the point and walked over to Cara Star and just living. Like, she's been plotting on Cara Star since Cara got it. She finally got it. She can celebrate. And she now joins Steve, Adam, Leroy, Nicole, and Veronica as star holders.
Yeah, I think more she was plotting on Cara Star once Cara didn't go with her against that whole vote with Rachel. And she was like, yeah, no, you got to go. I think she would have been more inclined to keep Cara Star because of their friendship, quote unquote, if she would have voted for her in that moment. But once she did it, it was kind of a done deal. And then that's where we get the Cam and Cara switch up this whole season. And so Cam did what she said she was gonna do. I like a woman of her word. You say you're gonna go in, you say you're gonna get a star, you talking all this shit, you making all these plans and making people basically change their whole game so that it can benefit you, them too in the long run, but also just you in the in the meantime. And she did it. So unlike some of you hoes that be on this show, she actually does what she says she's gonna do. Like y'all need to take notes.
Yeah, and Jay was like, at one point, it was like during the daily. I didn't mention this, but like he was like, if I do this, like, I know I'm cool, I'm close to Carl, but I do this, I'm focusing on myself. My back I get stretched, so I can go in and get a star too. So now I think people might start wanting to do that same method and have people behind them to do that. Will it bowl over well for them? I don't know. With different matchups and how the little groups end up being. I don't know how they'll be, but it'll be interesting to see. Okay, since Cam rallied the house basically to get her a star, who else is going to rally the house to get themselves a star?
Basically, that's how this game works. And that is
Yeah,
what we're going to continue to be watching this whole season. Honestly, we're getting closer and closer to the final. And we're pretty much halfway, if not quarter way, to the final. So I definitely want to see how this plays out. Will Cara stay? Will Cara get her star? Will, what's going to happen in just in general and how this game goes? Will Flora ever leave? Like Flora is just there. I don't know. I don't know how she's still here, to be honest. Like out of all people, I would have never assumed that Flora would have still been there. But shout out to her for just maintaining.
and Ace and Steve. Steve obviously has a star, but
I feel like I give Ace a little bit more just because he is a good player. Uh, and the only reason why he got out the first time was because a man kind of broke his back. But other than that, I mean, I would have Steve, yes, but I don't care about Steve as much. But Flora, I'm kind of like, bro, because she was somebody I was looking forward to seeing this season. She hasn't really given much but confessionals, but I'm glad that she's still there giving confessionals, I guess. Um, so yeah, that's that on the recap for this week. We do a music segment every week to kind of just look into the music that is played on the show because their playlist has always been good on All Stars since season one. And so this week we started the episode with that Mary J. Blige Family Affair song, got up in the dancery, uh, strutting with the boots. We already know Mary J. Blige. Come on now. It's nothing more or less to be said. You got boots, you got a little flipping your curl in your hair, and you're strutting your stuff. So I don't mind it. Love Mary J. Blige down. And I think in the middle of the challenge, they played Paramore. I think it's called Misery. I
yeah,
want to say
maybe
Misery.
business.
Yes, Misery Business by Paramore, which, if you're black, Paramore is one of those groups that you kind of rock with because, you know, they just give you a good vibe. Like they give, the white people that could sing with the choir. So love Paramore down. Those were two highlights this week. Played. I don't I don't think they really played much else, to be honest. They played a couple other things, but nothing really that stood out or that my ears would even care to hear after listening. So that is our music segment for this week, and that is actually the wrap on the show for this week. So thank you guys for listening. If you would like to follow us on Twitter, you can at Dual Alliance Pod. You can follow Megan at Megs and Hines. You can follow myself at Ace_S5, and then you can watch this. If you're listening to this, you can watch it on YouTube at Dual Alliance Podcast. You can like, comment, and subscribe. We'll be back next week with more All Stars recap. See you guys. Bye.
Bye. Happy Memorial Day.